You're listening to the AZREIA Show. If you're looking for quality real estate investing information that you can trust, you've found it. Stay tuned and join the tens of thousands of members that have already benefited from AZREIA, your home for education, market information, support, and networking opportunities that will advance your real estate investing career.
Welcome to another episode of the AZREIA Show. Guys, we are very fortunate and blessed to be with you again on another Friday and another episode. And today I have none other than the Executive Director, Mike Delpreet.
What's up? What's up?
And we want to talk about something specific to us. We want to let you guys behind the curtain, behind the veil on what we're working on. We never want to come off as the coaches, trainers, or just in front of the crowd without not doing any deals on the back end ourselves. So we want to share with you one of the deals that we're working on and what transpired throughout this deal. So without any further delay, like always, I got to ask our Executive Director, Mike, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Wonderful, man. Excited to be here as always and share our glimpse into our story here.
Okay. All right. So everybody knows that the market shifted, we would say end of May, early June. And with that being said, we have a group that we work primarily with called the Deal Finders Club. And the Deal Finders Club is where me and Mike coach exclusively a small group of investors that are looking to find off-market deals. So we had a deal brought to us, which we worked hand in hand with, and we ended up taking that deal down. Mike, you want to jump in here a little bit about the deal?
Yeah, so the Deal Finders Club, as you know, you get a wholesale course, and our main goal is to teach you how to sales and marketing, because that's what wholesaling is. And then as you get opportunities and homeowners that want offers, Marcus and I will comp the property, we'll talk to the homeowner, go to the appointments, we'll do all that stuff. So this is from one of our Deal Finder members that followed what we said and did what we told them to do. So it got them into a door knocking lead. So they were door knocking in East Mesa, several houses, a pre-foreclosure list, which was pretty exciting to see because, thinking this was back in June, I guess, and, before things changed, so everyone's door knocking, there's very little foreclosures, but this member got a foreclosure deal, house is going to foreclosure within the month. And she generated the conversation and we stepped in and helped her out. So yeah, that's kind of like how we found this deal, was door knocking, pre-foreclosures. So you got some context.
So again, and me and Mike, we worked exclusively with her to work with the seller, get all of the information from the seller, and eventually get the property under contract. So our goal and our aim was to wholesale this deal. And at the time, it was a great deal. Like we said, it was the end of May, early June. The market shifted, but everyone didn't know to what degree the market shifted. So we got the property under contract and we were like, yes, we're going to make some money here. We're going to make sure that DFC member get their first deal done. They're going to be happy. They're going to be motivated, and everybody's going to be motivated.
Let's go through some more of the context of the deal. Because a lot of stuff there, right? So I want to give this member so much credit for the way she door knocked, right?
Yep.
Knocked on the door, get away, right? Then she got to a point where the homeowner finally opened up the door and said, hey, I'll meet you, but we're not coming to my house. So obviously what we've learned in our times, people are ashamed of what the situation may be, or they don't feel comfortable, they don't trust you yet. So she met her at a coffee shop, and they got to did our initial meeting to talk about the property at the coffee shop. Then, she kind of disappeared for a little bit. Says, hey, why aren't you answering my door, my calls now? Oh, I'm sick. So she went and brought soup and crackers and all this stuff to the homeowner's house and just left it on the front door and said, hey, I left you something. So that really set her apart from all the hundreds of other people knocking on the door every day. Right. So take that for what it is. Definitely stood apart from everybody.
And that's very important because, in this market in Phoenix, there's a lot of investor activity and you have to be persistent and you have to set yourself apart. And by her doing that, not only is set herself apart, but she's just genuine. She has a genuine heart for people. And when you have that genuine heart for people, they understand that, they know that, and they know that, hey, people want to do deals with people they know, like, and trust. And although they didn't know her, they liked her, and because of what she did, they trusted her, so that let her into the door. So there's plenty of times where, some investors, and I'm guilty of it sometimes, you're in a rush, you think it's just another property to go and walk. You say, okay, let me go in, chit chat with the seller for a few minutes, take some pictures, and try and get the contract and be out of the property and on to the next one. But when you guys are doing this, you have to show that empathy. You have to take some time and find out exactly what the seller is going through. And this is exactly what she did.
And here's what they're going through, right? So they're going to foreclosure, some bad times money wise. I know the spouse had like dialysis and every week, health issues, and they just couldn't make ends meet. So a couple learning lessons there is, they're in this tough situation, and our member is new to this, right? Yep. And I think she got emotionally attached to the situation. Of course, like you said, empathy, you want to help out the best you can, but you can't get in the mess yourself, right? So she started kind of like almost killing the deal in her own way. She started like kind of negotiating with us.
Right.
We're trying to get the best deal. Right. And by the way, they think, that we got a good deal, and they still put a lot of money in their pocket because they had some equity. So it worked out for everybody. So whereas, it goes into, we had our offer price, and we're coaching her through the offering and what to offer and, how to offer it. And she, went against what we said and actually offered her, she gave our offer, but then felt bad and went back and offered $5,000 more.
Yep.
Right. So which we'll go down that road and why we wish we had that 5,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, Mike said something very key is you have to have the empathy, show and share that empathetic demeanor, but at the same time understand that this is business, and at the end of the day, it is business. You can have those emotions, but you want to tailor those and make sure you compartmentalize those emotions. So we were able to get the deal. We made quite a few mistakes on it. One of them that I would say is we went out to the property, walked the property, and I even walked the property, and it was just filled with so much stuff, and the house was so dark you couldn't see. So there were some key things that we missed. One of the things that we missed, and like I said, we're not all perfect. So when we go out and we walk these properties, you have to make sure you have enough time set aside. So one of the things that we missed was termite damage. We were wondering why the cabinet doors were not on the cabinets.
Yeah, I just didn't think they wanted to open the doors. I thought they were lazy, but yeah, they figured that out.
Yeah, I mean, I just took it as, okay, well, maybe they're redoing something with the cabinets, and they just took the cabinet doors off, because the cabinet doors were in the garage, but they wasn't up there. So we missed the termite damage. When we went back through, we started noticing, hey, there was a lot of termite trails around the kitchen cabinets. And I started poking on the cabinets, and my fingers was going right through the cabinets. Yep. So that was one. You got another one, Mike, that we missed?
Yeah, well, one disclaimer, I never went there, which no excuse. I saw
you throwing me under the bus, Mike.
I went there afterwards, but I got so used to like virtual wholesaling, like in Cleveland, never being at properties. You see the pictures, right? And so I looked at the pictures, and obviously I'm going to bring up the bathrooms. So what I'm going to touch on is the bathrooms, right? So like I said, I'm so used to buying in Cleveland, never going to the property, sight unseen for me, but I saw the pictures, maybe some video, but the way this bathroom was set up, I've never seen it personally. So it was kind of a 1.5 bath where it was like a shower and a toilet bowl, but then you go through the door, and it's like a sink and a toilet bowl. So the way our rep took the pictures, it looked just like 2 quick pictures of 2 different bathrooms. So I thought it was a 2-2, right? So that, I thought we both did. And then I agree with what you said. Man, that place was piled wall to wall. door to door, ceiling the floor of boxes, and it was like a maze. So
Yeah.
like you just can't see a lot of stuff in there. So that was mine. I know that was a big
Yep.
one we missed as well.
So what we initially thought was a 2-2 ended up being like a 1 3/4.
I don't even know. You're sharing both, like, yeah, I guess you got because if you're in the shower and you got a toilet bowl, but there's no sink in there, you got to use the sink in the other half,
Yep.
right? You know what I'm saying? But then that other half is like a half bath.
Half bath. Yeah. So I don't know
But the
what
one with the
we
shower is like, I never saw that type of half bath. So two halves, probably one technically.
yeah. So we missed that. And then actually on our walkthrough when me and Mike was there, we were walking around the outside and it was pointed out to us that the property was on a septic.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have termite damage, you have bathroom that you thought was a 2-bathroom, but ended up being like a 1.5, 1 3/4. Then the property was on septic. So, and you guys know that, septic versus sewer can make a big difference, when you're working with some buyers. So that was one of the things that we missed also.
Yeah. And, and I would chalk that up to, not putting as much attention on it as we need.
Yeah.
100% responsibility. However, sometimes you bypass some of that because there's times we buy sight unseen, but when you buy it right, like that's something we always preach here, is right, knowing your numbers and buying it right. I think maybe we got a little too overconfident, like, hey, we got a really good price, the market's hot, can't really lose. And I still don't think we're going to lose, but like, yeah, so I think we kind of went through all that.
Yeah.
So,
And again, like you were saying, Mike, that was one of the things. Was it really wasn't overconfidence, it was that we bought right at that market shift. So we looked at the comps, ran everything, and in early May and in April, the properties were selling for X. Once we took it down and was trying to wholesale it, the values dropped considerably and nobody wanted to do the deal.
yeah, so we bought it, and then obviously the goal was just to clean it up and get it prepped for the next fix and flipper, landlord, whatever buyer it was. So I think we went through two dumpsters,
Yep.
3 dumpsters, that 40-yard dumpsters. That took like a week or so to get cleaned out, right? Just the labor that we had. So, so we bought it. Before that, first we did a holdback. So the owners, we had a $5,000 holdback because they needed to find a place to stay. So we gave them a week to get out, or like a week and a half. So that killed some time. Then it took us over a week to get everything cleaned out. So we're 3 weeks into the deal.
Yep.
And we're still fine, right? We're waiting for now it's all cleaned out, and we started putting it out there, and then the interest rates doubled.
Yep.
That was the key, right? That was the kicker. Just so everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? The buyer pool slowed down, the investors, the flippers, the cash buyers, everyone's like, whoa, what's the scenario? And now we're not getting any offers on it or any visits. I mean, we had signs in the front yards on Zillow, cash buyers blasted the AZREIA forums, like we just had it everywhere. Yeah, so that kind of got us a little shocked there.
Yeah, and then because our exit strategy, like Mike said, was we were just going to clean it up and just wholesale it and move on. And at the time that we were doing everything was prepped, prime, and right and ready for us to do that. But again, because of that time frame, we were unable to move it. So that moved us into having multiple exit strategies. So that our first exit strategy was clean it up and we'll wholesale it. The second exit strategy was, okay, well, we have iBuyers in the neighborhood that's buying, open door, offer pad. We'll clean it up and we will just send it over to Open Door and Offer Pad and see what happens with them. So Mike, you care to share with what happened with that?
Yeah, so one, when we took this property down, it was an ARV after repair value of 400,000, give or take ish, right?
Yep.
Whatever you're thinking. So think about it. We locked it up at 255. So it's a 1,300 square foot house. It's not like a major renovation, so it's a solid home besides the, all the garbage in there and that bathroom. So yeah. So where are we at? So we tried wholesaling it out. No one was just giving us no bites while it was cleaned out. And you remember why Now the time is ticking. We already got 3 weeks into it. Now we're like, hey, let's just give us some time. Because what I've learned in wholesaling over the years is, hey, sometimes you get that unique buyer when you have time and you just got the market, you're marketing the property. It's not, not trying to sell it in 5-10 days. You give it 30 days. Sometimes you get a nice buyer that just takes it on. So I was thinking in that kind of aspect too. Maybe we'll just get the right buyer. But what's going on while we're waiting? We're paying
Interest rates.
Yeah. Well, our hard money
Hard
payment.
money. Yeah. Yep.
$2,170. I know that for sure. So boom, first mortgage payment hits. All right. So now, right, you got, because just when you buy these properties, right, there was, let's hit the real quick. I know you asked me the question, but another learning lesson. ENRs, HOA, read it. Right. So I know there's transfer fees. Everyone knows that. That's fine. So, but there was an $800 membership, golf club membership fee. I'm like, oh, right. I was just joking, like, hey, Marcus, let's go get the golf cart. Let's go play. Let's go have some fun. Right. So it's not really even a membership. You just get to get exclusive newsletter and you get to go watch the voting. So was what I found out. But we had questions because we were going to do some things around the house. So I want to call the HOA. And the lady was like, oh, you paid the $800? That was optional. I'm like, oh, come on.
Right. We gave away another $800.
Yeah. I was like, so on our settlement statement, it's just automatically there. She was like, you should have read the docs. You should have asked your title company, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're right. So, we paid $800 that we didn't, we're not getting it back,
right.
So that's a given. So that was an $800, mistake there too. So read your CC&Rs, read all your documents. As always, that's what we explained in the contract class last night. So that was something. So where was I going? So we had the mortgage payment going. We had the $800 fee, time's ticking. So what do we want to do? So yeah, well, we submitted it to OfferPad, and it just needed too much work. They didn't, because it was just cleaned out first, and they didn't want to. One, Open Door didn't accept their offer because the previous owner submitted it to them. So we had to wait 90 days or 60 days before they would even look at ours at Open Door. OfferPad just denied it based on pictures and said it needed too much work. So then we're like, all right, now what do we do? So no wholesale buyers. Could we put it on MLS this way? Maybe. And then we had no iBuyer. And, in that type of property, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, whatever you want to call it, it's not really in everyone's buy box.
Right. So we went through 2 exit strategies. So we were looking at wholesaling and Open Door, OfferPad, iBuyers. That didn't work. So the next step was, okay, we got to bring cash to the table and we got to get this thing cleaned up. We have to do a rehab on it and then try and pitch it back to Open Door and OfferPad. So we did that. We spent about a good $15,000 cleaning it up, painting it. And actually the contractor did a really good job for that amount of money. Looks like a totally new place. We did new flooring, completely painted the place, new doors, new hardware, everything. So it looks like a new place. So we said, all right, OfferPad should be able to take it now. Open Door should be able to take it now. Let's resubmit it. So we resubmitted it and came back lower than what we expected because naturally their buy box changed, their expectations changed because the market shifted. So at one point when the previous seller submitted it to OfferPad, they had got a range of right around 320, between 290 and 320. So we was thinking, okay, on a high end, all right, we'll move it for 300, 305. We will still make money and everything will be rosy. We'll get out of the deal and move on. Well, when we submitted it, they came back at 250.
Well,
so, go ahead.
Well, it's actually, they gave it at 300.
Yeah.
So which, if that was we would have took that, right?
Yeah.
Some level maybe or countered. But the way Open Door works, it's 300 minus all their,
fees. Yep.
I don't know. You saw everything, whatever repaired or estimate. You said they offered like a 30,000 renovation budget, and we already did the renovation.
We already did the renovations. Yep.
Yeah. So technically, so what happens is they offer 300, but then you net 250 after, and what we bought it at 255, right? So that wouldn't work, but that's kind of messes things up. So when they sell these houses, they put whatever the contract price is what gets recorded, if I understand correctly.
Yep.
So if we actually sold it, it looked like we sold it for 300. But that's not, so when you're looking at other deals, it says Open Door paid something, it's actually less than that. So, but yeah, so that didn't work.
Yeah. So the 300 went to 250. That didn't work because we contracted the property at 255. We had 2 or 3 mortgage payments in at $2,170. Plus we put 14 grand into it. So now our holding costs are going higher and higher and higher each month. And the expectations of the market are dropping and dropping and dropping each month. So when I'm at the monthly meeting and I'm seeing the charts and I'm seeing the numbers drop, I'm like, oh crap, we're holding this property. We got to hurry up and get out. So I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. So that was 3 exit strategies that we were looking at. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a brief break, hear a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk about our other exit strategies we're working on and what the outcome is. So let's take a brief break and we will be right back.
Are your real estate dreams on hold? With work, kids, everything else going on, time is limited. Most days you feel like the world's on your shoulders. You might even say to yourself, if I just had someone to lean on and push me in the right direction, I know things would happen quicker. Well, then you need to check out the Deal Finders Club, a community of investors eager to close more deals, sign more contracts, and just get ahead in life. The DFC provides weekly coaching, thriving online community, and all the education you need to be confident. DFC is your fastest path to closing more deals. To learn more, head over to AZDFC.com. That's AZDFC.com.
All right, everyone, we are back. And before we went to break, we were talking about our multiple exit strategies. But even before then, so we got the rehab done and we didn't do a full final punch list because we resubmitted it to Open Door, an offer pad, to see what they would come back at. And so with Open Door offer pad, they really don't come out to the property. They just take some pictures. We take some pictures, videos, and send it over to them. So there were things that we said, okay, we don't necessarily need to do this right now. We can hold off and things like that. So once they came back and said that they offered that low number to us at 250, now we had to go back to the contractor and say, all right, these punch items we definitely need completed. And he wrapped them up, and then lo and behold, we had another mishaps. Mike, care to share?
Yeah. So, there were some smokers in there. So what we were doing is cleaning out the ducts. So we want to get the ducts cleaned and then all the filters and the coils all cleaned within the AC. So the duct cleaner went out there and he's called and he was just like, yo, your AC's blowing hot. So now, we're at the point where, hey, it's all cleaned up. Punch list is done. Ducts are clean. Things smell good. We're going to do a final cleaning, get it on MLS, here in a few days. And yet now we got an AC guy going out, scheduled to go out and service the unit. So let's just, cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers. Yeah. So,
yes.
And we wanted to bring this to you guys' attention because, with HGTV and some of these other places, everything always turns out rosy. And we just want to let you know that, hey, sometimes you have to be able to pivot and change the way you do things based on what the market reveals. So right now we're getting ready to put that property on the market. So what happens, Mike, if we put the property on the market and it doesn't sell? What's our next exit strategy?
Yeah, you just start looking at some options, right? So can you rent it, right? Remember, we got this $2,000 mortgage payment. This area, I'm confident we can get the 1,800, 2,000 max rental, right? So worst case, we just don't do anything, for a few months. We pay the hard money, get a renter in there. Maybe we have to eat a few $100 a month, right? Just is what it is. So why it's rented out, we can do that and pay our hard money lender. While doing that, we can look into DSCR loans, right? Depending on what the appraisal comes back, we can get anywhere from 65 to 75% of the appraisal. I'm confident we can get an appraisal above 350. So, maybe that gets us our money back. Let's just say, I don't have a calculator right here. So maybe we get some money, we pay the hard money loan off, definitely. And we get some of our our majority, I guess we would get, we might get all our money
All
back.
our money back, yeah.
Yeah, now that I kind of think about it, if we got around 250, we'd probably have still money in there, but we get a majority of our money back, pay the hard money off, but our mortgage payment is still going to be the 18 to 2,000 on DSCR at 8%. So we would still be breaking even or coming out of pocket $100 or two to handle this loan. So that which would be the worst case scenario, unless we got a little bit more creative outside of the rental, which you were talking about.
So, and one of the other creative things that we were looking at was either doing a short-term rental, Airbnb. Again, it's in a golf course community right off the 60 in Mesa, pretty decent area. So we were looking at short-term rentals. And we have Al Williamson actually coming next month, and we met him at the National RIA, and he talks about extended stay rentals. So we're looking at that being an option as well, because the property is 2 miles away from Banner Hospital off the 60. So that goes into traveling nurses, people coming to do their residency and internships. So it could possibly be an extended stay rental as well. So we went through, how many exit strategies did we go through? We went through wholesale, we went through open door offer pad, iBuyers, we went through
Rental
on an MLS, regular rentals, short-term rentals, and now extended stay rentals. So those are 6 exit strategies that we kind of had in the back of our pocket, saying, okay, if this doesn't work, we're going to move to this. If this doesn't work, we're going to move to the next thing. So if you guys can remember, at the monthly meeting earlier this month, the guys on the panel were talking about, being creative, having multiple ways to move a property. And that's exactly what Mike and I are doing with this property. Cross our fingers, everything works well. We believe we still have a profit generating asset here, and but we will definitely keep you posted on how everything goes.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't think we're going to go wrong because we bought it right. We understood what the values are. We bought it low enough for any problems. We thought about the exit strategies, like you said. So I'm confident we'll come out on top, although a little nerve wracking, didn't go as planned, longer than planned. Everything, all the boxes were checked that we didn't want checked. So, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm confident. And even if we had to keep it, I think, over some time here, I think, it'll bounce back regardless.
Yep. So keep that in mind, guys, especially if you are wholesalers out there. This is some of the things that fix and flippers have to look at. So when they say, hey, I can't give you, your wholesale price, and they try and pull you back a little bit, these are some of the things that they're wrapping their heads around. With this market shifting, with things like that, they're automatically taking 10 to 15% off the top of the ARV of what properties sold, last month, back in May, June, and July. So definitely keep that in mind. And then also, with that being said, we do have Al Williamson coming in for our next monthly meeting that will be talking about extended stay rentals. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're there in the building for that. And what else we have coming up, Mike?
This upcoming week, obviously, we have Phoenix, 4th Tuesday of the month. We got the Phoenix Real Estate Club, the I Want, I Have session, networking. We talk about our deals. And then the next day, we have our Fix and Flip group right here at the office. Those are both here in Central Phoenix. Bob and Tracy Royce hosting the Fix and Flip group. So yeah, otherwise, in our 20th anniversary, November 14th, venue 8600, we're doing raffles, TVs, computers, experiences. Steve Treng's giving away a program. John Burley's giving away a program. So it's a lot of stuff you can win, and we're donating. Everything goes to charity. We have a list for Maggie's Place for single mothers. So basically, we want to support them. They have a list of needs. So we're asking that everyone brings in some of those items, and you get more raffle tickets and get a chance to win some of these prizes and celebrate 20 years of supporting real estate investors here in Arizona.
So there's a lot going on. So let's make sure your face is in the place at venue 8600 on November 14th. And also, if you can't make it, remember to always friend us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and then also every podcast is up on YouTube. So find us on YouTube. Also go there. You can listen to the show. You can watch the show. You can get a chance to see Mike's handsome face every Friday.
Yes.
every Friday. So again, thank you, AZREIA family, guys. We really appreciate you being loyal supporters and savvy investors in the Phoenix market.
Take it easy.
All right, guys, signing off. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the AZREIA Show with your hosts, Marcus Maloney and Mike Delpreet. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you found this information valuable, head over to AZREIA.org and learn more about our community.